All right, well,
Told you not to use that gun.
yeah, I apologize, everybody, for that funness.
Technical
Yeah,
difficulties.
technical. We're so technical.
Your computer just had a mind of its own and said,
I apologize for any sudden feedback, because I got to make sure that I can actually be heard.
oh, heard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we'll get, like...
You get all of something.
It's a lot of something.
Oh my goodness.
You two handsomely bearded men for free. There we go. Breaking dimensions.
Oh, yes we are.
And watch a Time Lord comes out here and goes, "What are you two doing?"
Nothing.
It was like he takes that sonic screwdriver out on bolting. I'm either bolting or kicking him square in the nuts.
Yeah, well, I probably would as well.
I was like, "Ooh, I'm so afraid of your sonic screwdriver."
I'm still dropping like 60% of all my frames.
Ouch.
Oh yeah, it's awful. Well,
Your internet is not liking us.
well, I do
Didn't
kind
like
of,
us the other.
I do kind of have a lot going on the as far as network traffic is concerned.
Where's my mining glasses?
Oh well, they're
I
not
need to
here.
protect my eyes.
They're not here.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I mean, it says it's good here, so we're
Uh-huh.
just gonna have to deal. I'm gonna have to get this whole network thing sussed out. I
You
think.
have to do some port forwarding and stuff.
No, I think I just need faster internet, to be honest. Spectrum's working on
You
it.
need Fibre.
Well, the only thing available here is AT&T and Charter Spectrum, so I went with the better of the two. So yeah, no,
Yeah,
trust
yeah.
me, it's better.
Okay, well,
You'll have to
I'm-
defer to my judgment on that one.
I'm
So,
still rocking DSL.
thanks for hanging in there. Sorry we're 4 minutes late, which is I think better than like 15 or 20.
We're still on time.
Yeah, it's way better than what we were doing.
We're good. To me, that's a plus.
Yeah, we're
We're on time.
as far as our disorganized rear ends are concerned, we are like ahead of schedule at this point.
Progress.
Something has happened.
Wait, what'd you do to the video?
I did nothing. Why?
Oh. I'm used to seeing us on there.
Oh,
Sorry.
no, yeah, I'm just-
like,
I'm just making sure that everybody in the Discord server that I belong
there
to
it
knows
is.
that
Someone
we're
done with this computer
knows
still.
that we're streaming.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're on. We're live.
Woo!
We can mess
Anyway,
up at
so yeah,
any
sorry
time.
if I just blew anybody's ears out. That's
We'll move the mic away from you, or higher?
well. Hang on now. Jeez.
I bet there's a way we could get it to hang from the ceiling. You know, like a boom mic. That'd be cool. Hey, anybody got an old boom mic? We could test.
Yeah, right.
Comparative.
Sorry if my frame rate drops even more because I'm just loading a page here. That's all. Do do do.
What are you loading?
Derpa derpa der.
Oh, that's a sexy looking card.
It will
Can
be.
graphic cards be sexy looking?
Absolutely, they can be.
More what? More tubes? Less tubes?
More tubes? I don't know. All the tubes.
A nice sleek black fan, carbon fiber. What the carbon fiber look? Ooh, it's very
Well,
nice.
I think it's more of like a brushed aluminum or brushed metal, something or other. I don't know. Anyways,
brushed aluminium.
so I suppose we'll get to it. Welcome everybody to Driven Tech Stream. Here we are again on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Far too late for all the youngins, which I guess is good because I kind of have a dirty mouth sometimes.
Well, it's too late on the East Coast. West Coast, they're like,
Well, that's true.
what are you
This is
talking about?
no West Coast. They're eating dinner, so we're screwed there too.
What? Wait. What time is it over there?
It's like 3 or 4 hours behind or something
So
like
it's
that,
like
isn't it?
8 o'clock.
Something like that, yeah.
People should be done eating. They should be at the bar.
Should be. Well, they probably aren't.
Well, gaming cafes.
Okay, I'll give you that
I
one.
mean, we got Battle and Brew somewhere here.
I don't know.
Oh, wait, no, that's in Sandy Springs.
I don't know anything about that.
No.
Anyway, so yeah,
Gaming place, man.
so we're gonna talk. This is as usual.
Yes.
We're going to drivel on incessantly. But pretty much
Digress
we
and
talk
tangents.
a little bit of tech sometimes. We talk cars. We talk a little bit of gaming here and there, and but mostly we're just bullshit artists, and that's our claim to fame.
I
So
got a BS in BSing.
indeed.
So, you go to college, get something, right?
Oh god, I don't want that. Get out of here.
What are you pulling
Alright.
up?
Just making sure that I can see the chat.
Oh.
Ye old chat.
Oh yeah, so if somebody says something,
Yeah, if somebody actually wants to say hello.
Is there an option to make it go ding so it actually gets our attention?
Let's see. Let me check the settings.
I mean, we're tech guys. We should know this, or we should.
I don't think there is. I think you're just supposed to watch it.
Oh, well, that makes it kind of hard to like. Yeah, let's do a whole show while we're looking at another screen. There's a screen and there's the camera.
Ooh, pop-out chat. That's nice.
Oh.
I wonder if it maintains if I close this window. It does!
Sweet!
Nice. Now I don't have to be, like, trying to fight the stream while I'm streaming.
You don't ever want to fight the stream.
No.
Nor cross them.
No. What happens when you cross streams?
Bad shit. I mean, in the movie, they blew up a marshmallow, so...
Well, that's something, then.
Right.
All right, fair enough.
But...
All right, so yeah, so to start off, yeah, graphics cards still in short supply. The cryptocurrency market not doing so hot over the past like week and a half, 2 weeks. We've seen pretty much every currency is in the red right now, with few exceptions. Some of the smaller ones that are worth like less than 1 cent US, they're still doing pretty decent, I guess, or maintaining. I don't know, whatever you want, however you want to put that. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Bitcoin coming up on a new hard fork. I don't have all the information about that right in front of me, but it means big things are going to happen with Bitcoin, and it's going to be interesting to see what investors, miners, and just otherwise Bitcoin shareholders do with it.
Right.
They might sell off, they might stick around, who knows? We're going to have to
everybody's going to get scared is what you're saying.
well, we're going to find out, aren't we?
You either weather the storm or don't.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, like I said, Bitcoin's taking a hit. Ethereum's taking a huge hit. They're down to like they were in the 160s earlier when I checked, which is...
Where were they usually at?
Well, I mean, hell, a month ago they were up towards like $400. So, yeah, because
they quickly just sold off their stuff and...
Well, I think what happened is we saw such a dramatic increase, and this is kind of like stock market stuff as well as the market, cryptocurrency market stuff. We saw such a dramatic and fast climb and increase in the price of a lot of these cryptocurrencies. And that kind of rapid growth really, as a general rule, excuse me, I'm going to pick this piece of trash up, is not usually sustainable. So that's kind of a big thing. And now we're seeing it. Now we're seeing that market correction for all that. So I think we're definitely probably going to see this possibly continue for the next week or two. We're going to see prices keep slipping, but then they should start to slowly climb back up if this market is anything like a normal, financial market.
Right.
So we'll see that. We'll see what happens. I'm going to stay tuned because I kind of have a vested interest in it.
Yeah, you're that guy.
Well, I'm one of them now. Well, one of many.
Yeah.
We are Legion.
Yeah. We're walking to Micro Center. Hi.
I've got 15 days. I've got 15 days to return those fuckers. So.
Yeah.
I would never do that.
No.
I would not do that.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, that's a big thing still. I mean, people are the craze built so quickly and so furiously, and a bunch of people started getting into it. It's really starting to become a harder thing to do if you're a small time miner, to mine these currencies. And in a lot of ways, actually, it's gonna start, especially now that the markets have declined to this point. I think it's going to start to become more profitable to become a trader instead of a miner. You just buy your currency, sell it when it hits a high, buy it again when it hits another low, and just continue that cycle. I think that's really where we're headed with this, especially with some of these currencies becoming proof of stake instead of proof of work, which Ethereum has announced that they do have intentions to do, but I don't have an exact timeline on that yet. So that's enough for mining because
you're still going to have to in order to trade or buy that stuff, you're still going to have miners to.
No. If they go to proof of stake, that's it. They have this many shares available, and you can buy them and sell them as you see fit. So yeah, it's just going to be like a stock. well, for some of them, I mean, I don't think cryptocurrency mining is going to go anywhere for at least a couple more years, especially with there's tons of initial coin offerings still going on. There's
seeing what happens with
things like Zcash. I mean, Ethereum's still technically profitable, if you're not dumping just a bunch of money into electricity. Digibyte. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with them. I'm kind of holding out hope for that.
Like, come on, Digi.
Well, I mean, I would consider even like reinvesting into them, just buying shares because hell, $20 gets you what, like 2,000 shares. So
That's a lot.
why not?
Yeah.
So I mean,
Like you said, it's playing the stock market, but on a different.
It's just a different market. Yeah. So we'll see.
But if they ever do stop mining, what happens then with all those graphics cards?
Again, that's one of the concerns.
Like
with
some of the photos we've seen, like the guys that have the warehouses with like 200
but,
deep.
Yeah,
cards.
but for them, it still makes sense to mine because they have the hash power to still be very profitable, especially if they already made their return on investment.
Right. Okay,
so for them, it's still profit.
The small shops.
Yeah, but that's what I mean is your small time miners are going to start finding it more and more difficult to kind of get into it. So like your guys that are like, oh, I have a gaming PC and I want to mine Ethereum, and it's going to stop being profitable at all. It's not going to be worth the electricity probably here next 6-12 months. So depending on the price of Ethereum and the difficulty,
right. I'm looking at this.
Of course, tons of factors involved with that.
Right.
But like I said, we'll see.
What happens.
It's gonna be very, very interesting to see what happens with that.
Right, but you said like in like 2 weeks it could start doing this, so it's like everybody panic. It's like panic and this too shall pass.
Yeah. So like I said, we'll see what happens with that. So in other just regular old tech news, now that we're done talking about stupid old mining.
How's that crow taste?
Yeah, well, whatever. AMD Ryzen
like
3
chicken.
1300X and 1200 processor prices have been leaked out. We should be expecting to see them at the end of the month, around the 27th. The 1200, which will be a 4-core 4-thread, 3.1 gigahertz, 3.4 gigahertz boost clock, as it were. I can't remember what they call it. I have a hard turbo, whatever. And then the 1300X, Ryzen 3 1300X, 4-core 4-thread, 3.5 gigahertz, 3.7 gigahertz turbo. They will sell for $109 for the 1200 and $129 for the 1300X, which is a great price when you think about it. Because that's going to blow away pretty much. I mean, you figure...
Bye-bye, Intel.
Well, I mean, Intel clearly still has that loyal following, but they've been losing market share. Right, that's a big deal for them.
That's pretty good bang for the buck.
Yeah. Oh, it's excellent bang for the buck.
That's like win, win, win.
I said that Ryzen 3, the 1200, performs almost as good as the Intel Core i5 3570K. I mean, like within, what is that, 110 points.
So it's a very decent gaming
pass mark.
It's a decent gaming process.
It'll be enough to get your entry level PC builders will be able to buy a very affordable, very well performing chip. For the guys that aren't doing content editing and all that.
Right.
It's going to be enough to get the job done.
A good multimedia PC for at home.
Oh, absolutely.
Watch movies, play games, stream the net.
Exactly.
Do a little bit of photo editing, not like heavy duty.
And much like their Ryzen 5 series, with the exception of the 1600X, it's going to be a 65-watt TDP processor. So it's going to be very, very low on power consumption, very, very power efficient. So I'm very, very excited to see this. I would actually consider even just buying one and testing it out, or
like
maybe
a small.
Yeah, I mean, just build a small test rig and, even get like a Core i3 or whatever the comparable Intel chip is, just to give them a direct comparison.
Actually, let them go head to head.
Yeah, that'd be exciting. That'd be a fun little test.
Yeah, a little bench gaming.
So there's that. That's exciting. The AMD Vega, the XTX, XT, and XL variants have been confirmed, as well as add-in board partners, Custom Vegas. They're going to be ready for production by late August. The VTX is what they're considering the Frontier Edition, while the XT will be the gaming centered card.
So what's the Frontier? What's the difference?
The Frontier is going to be like your high level, so like your liquid cooled, I believe.
Oh, so like top VR ready.
Yeah, the Frontier Edition is going to be like that's the one that they're, I think, kind of marketing towards like content creators and people that really need that like really high level graphics.
Editing, right?
Yeah,
editing,
pretty much editing
rendering,
type of stuff.
Good
Yeah.
stuff. Oh.
Editing, rendering.
So like for your rig.
The XTX is water cooled with It's got about a 375 watt TDP, and it draws around 300 watts just on the GPU itself. It's going to have clock rates that are close to 17 to 1800 megahertz, which is pretty spectacular. And I do believe we actually have some benchmarks here in just a bit the going up against the GTX 1080. The XT will be air-cooled TDP 285 watts with the GPU drawing a full 220. That's actually a huge difference in power consumption, considering that they have the same core count.
Right.
So that's going to be interesting. The XL, which is a custom chip that will have a cut-down Vega core. While the normal Vegas will have 4096 stream processors, the XL will have 3584. The TDP is actually the same as the XT from what they're saying here on WCCF Tech.
Yeah.
Which is the source for this article as well as the last one. Actually, most of the articles on this episode are from WCCF Tech because there just wasn't a lot of news out there that I was interested in.
Right.
But hey, if you're interested in some news, why don't you tell me and I'll look it up and we'll talk about it. Because
we'll have conversations.
Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to the Vegas and getting my hands on one possibly.
Please?
AMD.
I actually did.
I have no problem with a shameless plug for this channel at this point. No problem whatsoever.
Plug.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Support us.
Yeah, the cards themselves look so nice.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even want to put it in a case.
Oh, no.
It should be on an open air.
Oh, I'll show a picture of that card later. It's in the next article, actually.
That looks pretty.
Since we're actually... Let me make sure that I'm ready to switch over to this.
I would hate to stick that in a case.
Well, since most cases are coming with tempered glass on the side now, it's really a non-issue.
The way it sits, all you're going to see is like...
Not necessarily, like with your case, if you had a tempered glass side panel on that, with that little slot that's built inside. Yeah, there's cases that capitalize on that. But it's a sharp-looking GPU.
Sure.
It's got that nice brush metal finish. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So this is the article I was talking about with the leaked benchmarks. It's so funny how the benchmark, the pricing, all this stuff is leaked. Who's leaking this stuff? I mean, really?
Some marketer just went click.
Oh no, it got leaked. We weren't supposed to release it. I'm kind of having a hard time believing that at this point because we're seeing a lot of leaking going on. Well, it would seem that the tech world. It would seem that the tech world is a bit incontinent.
They need some depends.
Yeah, really. We need some informational depends. So, anyways, the specs are confirmed for the Vega 1630 megahertz GPU clock speed, 8 gigabytes of HBM2, which is high bandwidth memory for those that don't know, at 945 megahertz, and 484 gigabits of memory bandwidth, which is going to be pretty fantastic. So the 8 gigabits is going to be half of what the Frontier Edition has, but I think we're still going to see some pretty darn decent performance. You can kind of see here some comparisons there based on older style AMD cards, the Fury X, RX 480, and then of course the Vega lineups there. So again, with the exception of the one cut down with what the last article called, I think, what was it, the XL? They all have 4096 stream processors. We're looking at 13 teraflops or better on the Vega and the Vega 64 or the XT, and 11 teraflops on the Vega 56, which is amazing. So here we have a little chart here. 15% better performance than the 1080 and 35% better performance than the 1070 and 3D Mark 11 with these leaked figures. Again, grain of salt since we don't have it yet. And we can actually see here some updated numbers as far as the NVIDIA lineup there as well.
So what are these going to run, cost-wise?
Well, we just
just
had that. And yeah, we just talked about that in the last one, I thought.
No.
I don't have the price points yet.
For it.
I don't have the price point, but whatever. So here's a good thing here. This little chart here that shows the average price of a FreeSync monitor versus a G-Sync monitor with the added performance of these Vega cards, it's going to make buying a FreeSync monitor and AMD card very, very attractive for that variable refresh rate that people really enjoy. I mean, I've got a G-Sync monitor myself, and I love it. It's fantastic. And but again, it was like almost twice as expensive as the FreeSync monitors in the same kind of category that I was looking at.
What's the difference between the two? I've never heard of
G-Sync is variable refresh rate that is hardware based. Right. It is a module that's built into the monitor to give you that variable refresh rate.
All right.
And you have to have an NVIDIA card to utilize it. It's a hardware solution, whereas the FreeSync, they don't have to have any kind of specialized chip that they have to pay for in order to make it a variable refresh rate, which is AMD's. AMD's stuff is driven by the GPU instead of by the monitor. So it's pretty darn cool.
Isn't that what you would want anyway?
Not necessarily. I mean, because it takes load off the GPU to have the monitor handle the variable refresh rate sensing versus the GPU, but to have a cheaper monitor, and AMD typically beats out AMD, and or AMD beats AMD. AMD typically beats NVIDIA in price point here and there. So
they save money. They save the money on the monitor to be able to buy the better graphics card.
Precisely. And then our next one, Intel actually replied to AMD Naples.
The more you know.
Yeah, right. The more you know. Basically, they just responded to the EPYC server chips, saying, "Oh, it's not really that great. It's just a glued together desktop die from the Ryzen chip." Well, if it works better than the Intel offerings for server chips, then it works better. I don't care if it's duct taped together. If it works better, it works better.
Right.
So, I don't care. Screw it, Intel. You can be as salty as you want to. You can be a salty Sally, and I don't care.
They mad?
The fact of it, you mad, bro? Because it seems like you're mad. So, again, I don't really care how AMD accomplished it. If it's better price point, better performance, lower power consumption, if all these things hold true, then it's a better product. Yeah, I don't care. So, to Intel on that one.
All right.
Don't really know of any car news. I mean, I'll check it out here, but
probably not too much.
I'm not really aware of much. I mean, I'll go to Car and Driver.
Look, a new Accord.
Oh, a new Honda Accord, because those aren't super common cars.
That looked like a hatchback.
What, the Accord? Yeah, that's probably the Cross Tour.
It doesn't even look like a Cross Tour.
Actually, this could be a kind of an exciting article here.
Oh, well, might have piqued your interest. Oh, the 10th
It is a crossover.
It's roomy. It's good gas mileage.
And it's now coming with a Turbo 4.
Oh, boy.
1.5 liter turbo is going to be the standard. No, it's going to be the standard engine. Replacing the 2.4 liter naturally aspirated, and the 2 liter turbo will stand in for the V6.
Oh, so they're done with the V6.
I guess for now, yeah. 192 horsepower and 192 foot-pounds of torque for the 1.5. That's not shabby at all.
Coupled to a 6-speed auto.
Let's see. What do we got? I don't see the transmission yet, but I'm sure we'll get to that. Here we go. I'll get to that. So the 2 liter turbo has 306 horsepower. So it's going to have the same engine as the Civic Type R.
Heavier chassis.
Okay.
Or heavier.
300 horsepower in that car is still going to be stout.
Yeah.
It will. I mean, considering that the V6 now has, 305?
Yeah.
I believe it is.
Yeah, it looks like an old Mercedes S-Class.
It kind of does, a little bit.
The way they slope. My boss has one.
They are reducing the output of the motor in the Accord versus the Civic Type R. Giving it only 252 horsepower and 273 foot-pounds of torque. I guess it's kind of like BMW's mantra of not wanting a new 3 Series to be faster than the previous generation M3, that kind of thing.
And then us regular gearheads would be like, I got a computer that can fix that.
Well, according to them, it goes beyond retuning. Apparently, the innards are actually different on the engine for the Accord than the Civic Type R, which will kind of take away the option of just taking it to a tuner and saying, I want Civic Type R power, please. Okay, thanks, bye. Yeah, they're not going to be able to do that.
Nah, not unless you want something hanging out your block.
Yeah. So it looks like maximum power for the 2 liter is actually going to come in at 6,500 RPM versus 6,200. But peak torque is actually available between 1,500 and 4,000, whereas the V6 didn't actually hit peak torque till 4,900. So you're going to get torque earlier. Yeah, it's going to be nice and torquey.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Well, it's got to be able to move when you put like 5 people in the car.
Yeah, true. Give you that. So it looks like the 3 transmission options are going to be a CVT. Don't like those very much, but they are becoming increasingly popular.
Well, they have.
You're going to have an optional 6-speed manual in the sport trim.
Oh boy.
And the 2 liter is going to come with either a 10-speed automatic or the 6-speed manual in sports models. 10-speed automatic. So that means that not only is it going to be responsive, it's going to be very smooth and very quick.
First gear, non-existent.
Yeah, you're pretty much always going to be starting in third. Yeah.
Parking lot rolls at 4th.
According to this, because of the 2-liter turbo being inherently smaller than the V6, they're shaving off 22 pounds.
Ooh, in the nose?
Yeah, in the nose. So that's good. That should help with understeer and diving under heavy braking, stuff like that. Not by much, but still, every bit helps. Yeah, they're saying that the 10-speed is going to be 22 pounds lighter with a 60% wider range of transmission gearing and a 43% lower first gear and a 17% taller top gear. So we're talking better low-end torque in the lower gears and better gas mileage on the highway. So that's
still got VTEC, right?
Oh gosh, yeah. I think it's still iVTEC now.
All right, so when does it kick in? 5th gear?
No.
You got
it's
10,
RPM based. Yeah.
We got 5 more to go.
Yeah, it's RPM based, so whatever. It looks like the camera.
Oh,
get it. Hit it.
I did. Which one? Oh, the live button.
Yeah. Woo-hoo.
Shoot.
Okay. Yeah, get back down here, you crazy beast. Fortunately, I just switched over.
It'll catch up.
So yeah, I mean, it's not a bad looking car, but the
Are they going to make a 2-door sport?
Oh.
And remember, Accord's famous for having a 2-door sport, which
let's see what we got here. Well,
so they're only going to make it in 4-door, huh? That's
well, you got base, EX, EXL, EXL with navigation and touring.
EXL Navi?
Yeah, with navigation.
I wonder if they actually add that on the badge on the back. EXL.
They might.
Navi.
Oh, no, they won't add Navi. No, it'll just be
come
EXL.
on. It'd be funny.
Let's see, higher seat backs, better shoulder support, 12-way power drivers.
Just keep going now.
I don't see anything about the coupe or...
We'll go on down. They'll probably have models or...
No, actually, it ends at Tech Talk. Yeah, so, okay.
What do they got in there?
Sensing safety technology, standard across the board, including automated emergency braking. So this is becoming a lot more standard in cars in general.
Braking.
And again, it sounds like, oh, that's a really cool feature. It helps me if I'm texting and driving and eating a burrito and jerking off at the same time. What? I said it. No shame in this game. But really, all this is, and I've heard this before from auto manufacturers, from CEOs and stuff directly. This is the move towards fully automated self-driving cars. They're just introducing technology very slowly, in order to kind of get people used to the idea of a car doing things on its own.
They made 3 movies about this. It's called Terminator.
Yeah, I know.
Skynet. Some scary stuff.
So you'll have that lane departure warning, road departure migration.
Which those are fine.
That's going to have adaptive cruise control, which that one I actually like.
Okay.
The one that speeds you up and slows you down based on the traffic in front of you when you're cruising on the highway. So that I like.
Can't maintain a speed to save their life.
But not only that, but then it's like then you're not coming up on somebody and having to go, now you got to shut the cruise control off or decrease it and then speed it back up once it get out. So that's going to be nice. It will have traffic sign recognition, which is interesting. The adaptive cruise control actually have low speed follow, so that's going to be neat in a way. So instead of having to be at highway speeds, it'll have low speed.
You shouldn't be on cruise control in low speeds.
Well, now if you're sitting in bumper to bumper traffic and it will slowly keep you with the car in front of you, that actually might not be such a terrible thing.
Might as well not be driving.
Well, I know.
Might as well be a taxi.
That's what I mean. They're transitioning. So we'll have telematics, emergency roadside assistance, remote locking and unlocking, remote engine start, stolen vehicle tracking, remote diagnostics, geofencing, speed track, a whole host of stuff.
That's a lot that you can do for a little Honda.
I know. It will have wireless device charging, Bluetooth 4G LTE in car with Wi-Fi, and over-the-air system updates with a 6-inch heads-up display included in the touring models. Let's see here. So yeah, it looks like Honda is actually equipping every 2018 Accord with an analog volume knob. Thank you, Honda. Instead of having to sit there and press a button, I like doing this.
Yeah, rotary knobs are nice.
It is. But they'll also have a genuine knob for tuning, which is also nice to me. Instead of having to sit there and
Press
hold
buttons.
or press, and then you get it wrong, and then it skins. And
Right.
just let me, yeah.
Come on, keep it simple.
Yeah, right. LX trims get a 4-speaker 160-watt stereo. Sport and EX trims get 8-speaker 180-watt.
Wow.
And the EXL and Touring trims get a 10-speaker 450-watt speaker system, which is going to be fantastic.
I can just watch a movie in my car.
I know, it's going to sound really nice.
Does it come with Dolby?
Yeah, right.
All right, so if Honda's offering this, what do you think Toyota's bringing?
Actually, I think Toyota is retooling the Camry as well, if I'm not mistaken. I have not seen I have not seen any
out
news
of both
on
of them. The Honda always looks sharper than the Camry.
Well, the Camry even tried to kind of reinvigorate itself with the, what was that? The X, wasn't the XRS? XSR? Maybe it was the XRS. But they're sport Camry. They did come out
like
with one.
Like the Corolla had the Sport.
Kind of, yeah, very, very, very similar.
But it's always like the two. Nissan really, the Maxima is always on like its own plateau versus when you take the three big European or Asian cars, the Toyota, the Honda, and the Nissan. So Nissan just has already had the power.
Actually, just to show it off, here's a couple pictures of the new Camry since you asked about it. So we got dual exhaust with twin pipes or twin tips on each side.
Sporty looking.
There's that model I was telling you about. The X. What does that even say?
XRS.
XSP. XSP. That's what it is.
Sounds like a computer.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
I don't know. Oh well, and then now you get I keep forgetting Kia Optima's pretty snazzy looking. I'd either take the Optima or the Honda.
Especially with that Turbo 6.
Yeah.
276 horsepower, I think it was. Unless they've revised it.
And then the Max.
Which they may have.
I don't know. Has the Maxima ever changed yet? Still
no, still. Well, I think it's a 3.7 now. Remember, they went over to the 3.7. So.
Okay,
But yeah, so it's not a bad looking car.
Yeah.
But yeah, really, honestly, that's about all the car news. I mean, there's just not much this week either.
Nah.
So yeah, it is what it is. Whatever.
Well, I got like one thing. I was rolling on my way here. It's like I saw a time machine or something came out. Like turning the corner to go to Lake Lanier Islands. Mm-hmm. It's a black 1990 Ferrari. It was very nice, and I just got to thinking. I'm like,
very cool.
Those are kind of affordable now. Although when I looked up the specs, I was like, 300 brake horsepower. I get it, small 3.4 liter V8. I'm like, that's tiny.
Sure.
I was like, we can do better. Drop an LS in it.
Oh my god.
Drop an LS with turbos. Come on.
How is it possible to love and hate someone at the same time? That's all I want to know.
I just saw that. I was like, we could do better. Let's just Americanize it. Let's hot rod the crap out of it. I would put whatever engine. I mean, everybody sticks an LS in things, so I was like, could you fit a Hemi in it?
It's cheap.
Could you put a?
It's cheap. It's popular. It's easy to find parts for. I mean, I guess it makes sense.
Put a Viper engine in it.
Well, you could do that, I guess.
Yeah, come on.
I don't know. You might have to shoehorn that in there.
A V10 1990 Ferrari? Come on. Yeah. Or put turbos on it like the... Yeah, they did it with the F40. The F40 was a turbo, very small. I think it was an 8. Might have been a 6.
I think it was an 8.
No, it was an 8.
I'm sure it was an 8.
My phone's cutting.
Anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's about going to do it for this live streaming session here.
I'm going to go shoot things?
Yeah, let's play some Overwatch. How about that?
Yeah, I'm going to shoot things.
Woohoo! So we will return back here in just a moment. And
I'm going to learn me some more things.
We're going to see if we can't get some Overwatch played. And if the streaming doesn't look very good, then I will stop the stream, start recording, and we'll just upload it afterwards. So
yeah,
that's how it works.
Yay.
All right, cool. All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Yep.
And until next week, this has been Driven Tech Talk.